relentless series of atmospheric river storms has plunged California into a state of emergency this week, as record-breaking rainfall triggers widespread flash flooding, massive mudslides, and a mounting humanitarian crisis. From the rain-soaked streets of Los Angeles to the snow-buried passes of the Sierra Nevada, the nation's most populous state is grappling with one of the most severe weather sequences in recent history. The current crisis is driven by a potent Pineapple Express, a narrow corridor of concentrated moisture originating from the tropical Pacific. Meteorologists from the National Weather Service, NWS, report that some regions have received over 10 inches of rain in a 48-hour window, a volume that represents nearly 50% of their average annual precipitation. The soil is completely saturated, said a senior hydrologist at the California Department of Water Resources. Every drop of rain that falls now has nowhere to go but into our streets and overflowing river basins. We are seeing peak runoff levels that haven't been recorded in decades. In Southern California, the impact has been particularly devastating in urban centers. Los Angeles and Ventura Counties have seen catastrophic flooding in low-lying neighborhoods. Dozens of mudslides have been reported, with high-end properties teetering on the edge of eroded cliffs. In Studio City, a massive debris flow buried several vehicles and forced the emergency evacuation of entire blocks. Major arteries, including sections of Pacific Coast Highway, PCH, and Interstate 5, have faced intermittent closures due to rockfalls and standing water. The Los Angeles River, usually a concrete trickle, has transformed into a raging torrent, threatening bridge supports and riverside encampments. In the north, the focus has shifted to the integrity of the state's aging levee system. In the Central Valley, thousands of acres of almond orchards and farmland are currently underwater, raising concerns about long-term economic impacts on the global supply chain. In Sonoma County, the Russian River has surpassed its major flood stage, inundating the town of Guerneville. Residents there are accustomed to winter floods, but many describe this event as unprecedented in its speed. San Francisco and Oakland have reported massive power outages affecting over 250,000 customers, as high winds gusting up to 75 miles per hour toppled trees and utility poles. While the coast drowns in rain, the Sierra Nevada mountains are being buried under a historic snow dump. The UC Berkeley Central Sierra Snow Lab has recorded snowfall rates of 3 to 5 inches per hour. Interstate 80 over Donner Pass has been shut down indefinitely due to whiteout conditions and a high risk of avalanches. Mountain communities like Truckee and South Lake Tahoe are facing extended blackouts, with local officials urging residents to shelter in place as snow loads threaten to collapse roofs. Governor Gavin Newsom has expanded the state of emergency to 40 counties, authorizing the mobilization of the National Guard to assist in water rescues and debris removal. According to the California Office of Emergency Services, Cal-OES, more than 15,000 people are currently under mandatory evacuation orders. Tragically, state authorities have confirmed at least 7 storm-related fatalities, ranging from victims of falling trees to individuals swept away by fast-moving floodwaters. Climate scientists emphasize that while California has always cycled between droughts and floods, the intensity of these whiplash events is increasing. A warmer atmosphere holds more water vapor, explains a researcher from Scripps Institution of Oceanography. This means that when it does rain, it pours with a ferocity that our 20th century infrastructure was never designed to handle. The forecast remains grim. A second, even colder storm system is projected to hit by the weekend, which could lower snow levels to 1,500 feet, bringing rare dusting to the foothills and further complicating rescue efforts. Never drive through flooded roadways. 12 inches of rushing water can carry away a small car. Monitor the wireless emergency alerts, WEA, on your smartphone. Ensure you have a 72-hour kit, including water, non-perishable food, and flashlights. As the state catches its breath between surges, the cost of recovery is already estimated to be in the billions of dollars. For now, California remains a state on the edge, battling the sheer force of nature. Meanwhile, the coastal city of Long Beach is currently facing one of its most significant weather-related challenges of the year. A powerful, atmospheric river system has battered Southern California, bringing torrential rains that have turned city streets into navigable waterways and prompted urgent safety warnings from local officials. As of Tuesday, February 17, 2026, Long Beach remains under a rigorous weather watch as the community grapples with the aftermath of Monday's peak storm intensity. Both sides of the 710 freeway at Long Beach Boulevard were severely flooded. Vehicles were seen plowing through muddy standing water, and several cars became stuck in the deep water beneath the overpass, requiring emergency assistance to be pulled out. Significant portions of the PCH near Long Beach and Huntington Beach were closed intermittently due to debris and high water levels. In the 90815 area code, streets were turned into literal rivers. Social media footage captured residents, including Hayden DeLeon, playfully surfing behind vehicles on flooded residential streets to highlight the extreme water depth. Long Beach was included in a warning zone for potential wind gusts of up to 70 miles per hour. High winds toppled trees and power lines, leading to scattered outages. Authorities also warned of a low risk of isolated tornadoes during the peak of the storm system. Coastal areas are currently under a high surf advisory with wave sets reaching 5 to 8 feet, causing localized beach erosion and minor tidal overflow into shoreline parking lots. Meanwhile, a monumental winter storm has transformed the Sierra Nevada into a landscape of white chaos, effectively severing one of the nation's most vital transportation arteries. As of Tuesday, February 17, 2026, Interstate 80, I-80, remains the epicenter of California's battle against a relentless atmospheric river that has transitioned into a high-altitude blizzard, trapping travelers and forcing unprecedented road closures. The stretch of I-80 over Donner Summit has faced near-impossible conditions. According to the National Weather Service, NWS Reno, visibility at the summit dropped to 0 miles late Monday and early Tuesday, due to freezing fog and heavy wind-driven snow. Snow has been falling at rates of 3 to 5 inches per hour, with total accumulations at higher elevations expected to reach up to 8 feet, 96 inches by Wednesday evening. Massive gusts reaching 50 to 70 miles per hour have created whiteout conditions, making it impossible for snowplows to keep the lanes clear for more than a few minutes at a time. The California Department of Transportation, Caltrans, and the California Highway Patrol, CHP, have been forced into a constant state of closure to manage the safety risk. I-80 was closed in both directions between Colfax and the Nevada state line for several hours on Monday, following a surge of spin-outs and multi-vehicle crashes. Even when lanes briefly reopen, mandatory chain controls are in effect for all vehicles except four-wheel drives with snow tires. Semi-trucks and tractor-trailers have been prohibited from traveling eastbound at Applegate and westbound at the Nevada state line, as heavy rigs are particularly vulnerable to jackknifing on the ice-packed mountain grades. An estimated 20,000 visitors who flocked to Lake Tahoe for the holiday found themselves caught in what local officials called the Great Monday Exodus, facing gridlock and hours-long delays as they attempted to return home. In mountain towns like Truckee and Soda Springs, residents have been urged to shelter in place. Many families remained stranded in their vehicles for hours during the peak of the I-80 closures. Caltrans District 3 explicitly states, "Travel is highly discouraged. If you do not have to be in the mountains, stay home. If you must travel, you are required to carry tire chains, extra blankets, food, water, and a full tank of gas." Use the Caltrans Quick Map for real-time status of I-80 closures and chain requirements. As the Sierra Nevada continues to disappear under feet of powder, the recovery and clearing process for I-80 is expected to last well into the upcoming weekend.